What's up, y'all? My name is Aaron Mallory, aka Mr. Let Go, and today I want to ask you a very important question. What role are you playing in your relationships? Are you playing the masculine role when you know you should be playing the feminine role? Are you playing the feminine role knowing you should be playing the masculine role? This is about to be a total eye-opener. Let's get it. Now, if you're new to my channel and you really want to learn the psychological reasons why men and women actually do what they do, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, when I talk about masculine versus feminine, this is not about male versus female, man versus woman. This is about energy. This is about habits. This is about upbringing. See, a lot of women may have been raised by masculine mothers, and a lot of men may have been raised by feminine fathers. So the man doesn't necessarily know his role, and a woman doesn't necessarily know her role. When you're done watching this video, you're going to have a very good understanding of what role you've been playing in your relationships. And now you'll be able to get a good understanding on whether this is a good thing for you or a bad thing for you. And you'll be able to just look at who you've been choosing also. Because if you've been playing the masculine role just in your life and you're a woman, you may have been choosing men with feminine energy without even realizing it. So let's get to this. The masculine role is purpose before family. So as a man or as a person with masculine energy, because a lot of women do this, they go to college, then they go to grad school, they want to buy a house, they want to do all these different things before they even think about having a child or starting a family or getting married, because that's most important to her. And that's okay. But I just want you to know that that's a masculine role. It's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with it. So if this is you, you can easily start inadvertently choosing or attracting men with feminine energy without even realizing it. Because a lot of times the man who's just going after his purpose and not thinking about women, not thinking about relationships, not thinking about family, that's the masculine role. And if you are already doing that, the chances of you finding or meeting somebody that's doing the exact same thing is near to none, because they are after their purpose. So they're not even paying attention to you. See, a lot of times we don't necessarily meet the person that we want to be with, or we meet the person that we start liking when we planned it. Things just happen, right? So when you're in the middle of chasing your purpose, that's kind of like when you meet the person that you actually start falling in love with. So if you're chasing purpose, do you actually think you're going to either attract somebody else chasing their purpose? No, because you're not looking for him and he's not looking for you. So what ends up happening is the person that you end up attracting is a person that's attracted to you, because they see you chasing your purpose and they're like, wow, that is something that I am not. So I am attracted to that person. So that person ends up sticking to you while you're like flying, trying to go after your purpose. And that person who sticks to you most likely is the feminine role player. Now, as far as this masculine role of chasing your purpose and putting that before love and family, if you attract a feminine woman, fellas, and she loves how you're ambitious and you're doing all these different things and not necessarily paying a lot of attention to her, if you start slowing down because you actually slowly start falling for her, she can easily get turned off by you changing your direction. As the masculine role player, it's very important to give the feminine role player what they signed up for. You cannot start veering off doing something different, because that's feminine energy. If that person chose to get on this journey with you, it's important for you to keep going with this journey instead of veering off and doing something different. That is going to turn the feminine off. Keep that in mind. Stay with your purpose. Stay with the journey. Stay with the original goal. Now, the feminine energy, as far as decision making, the feminine is not going to make decisions. They don't want to make decisions. They're tired of making decisions. So they get with a person with masculine energy, and regardless of what they say, they do not want to make decisions. And I'm sure we've all heard a woman saying, should I wear these shoes or should I wear these shoes? And you may say, well, I don't know, whatever shoes you want to wear. No, they want you to make a decision, because at the end of the day, it's not about what type of shoes that person is about to wear. It's about you making the decision. They want you to make the decisions for them, because like I said, they're tired of making decisions. And you know why? Because their decisions are usually getting them in trouble. So they're choosing you. They're attracted to you because you seem like somebody that is better at making decisions that will help them grow than they are. So whatever it is that they ask you, you have to give them a decision. So no matter how small the decision may be to you, it's important for you to make the decision for them, because that's your role in your relationship with them. And this isn't male or female. This is about energy, because sometimes a woman may be headstrong and the man may sit there and say, I don't know, I should do this, but I don't. And the woman will turn around and say, I believe in you. I think you should do this. And the guy is like, you think so? And she'll say, yes, because I believe in you. Well, that's the same masculine energy right there. It's not bad, but that is masculine energy. The man is unsure in what he should do, and the woman pushes him in a certain direction. So she's serving or playing the masculine role. The feminine energy, they're afraid to do something different. They're afraid to mess up. They're afraid of the unknown, but they'll go to the end of the world with you, regardless of how scary it is. As long as that feminine person is with that masculine person, that feminine person is going to ignore all of their worries, their inhibitions. They're going to go. That's why they're with the masculine, because of how afraid they are. But if that masculine actually starts showing fear of the unknown, not vulnerability, that's different, but fear of the unknown, now they'll start looking at you like, yo, what do I need them for? I'm afraid and they're afraid. I don't need this. But like I said, it's different than being vulnerable. A man can say, yo, I'm afraid. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you stop because you're afraid, that is when it's an issue. The masculine role player. You cannot believe the feminine role player. Regardless of what they say, you have to take it with a grain of salt, whatever it is that they say, because they don't even believe themselves. That's why they're with you. They don't believe in themselves. So when they say something, you have to understand they may not be sure of what they're saying. That's why you're there. So do not necessarily totally believe the feminine energy in whatever they say, because one thing can mean another thing. And you know this, and this goes with men as well as women. And I'm not saying the feminine energy is a liar, but they're not necessarily sure of themselves. They're not necessarily sure of their decisions. They're not necessarily sure of how they see themselves. Feminine role player. They feel, well, when this happens, I'll be happy. When this happens, I'll be happy. They're always searching for something to happen for them to be happy. So masculine role player, you are what happens to them. Be the thing that happens that would make them happy. Their happiness is inside of them. But at the end of the day, they don't believe in what's inside of them. So you have to give them something to believe in. So you have to happen to the feminine energy. You are the happening. Feminine role player. If this person can't read my mind, I can't deal with them. A lot of men will sit here and say, does she expect me to read her mind? The answer is yes. If the woman is a masculine role player, she has to read his mind. And I know you may say, how are we able to read each other's minds? If you are aware of what the person is doing, why they're doing it, their love language, the role that they're playing in the relationship, what they want, what they don't want. I'll say that again. That's very important. What they don't want, you'll easily be able to understand what the person needs in certain situations. So you're not necessarily reading the person's mind. You just understand somebody that is having trouble understanding themselves. You got to remember, the feminine energy needs somebody that will lead them, so they don't know what they want to a certain degree, because they're afraid of everything. So they stay in this little box, afraid of the unknown. So they don't know what they like and they don't know what they don't like past their little box or past their little bubble. So it's important for you to lead them somewhere. Watch how they respond to where you lead them to, and then slowly build an understanding of who they are, what they need, and what you can give them. So in other words, you'll end up getting to the point where you can easily read their mind, because everything they are experiencing is new. So all of this new data that you just brought out in them, because of course they're inside of their little bubble, and then you're bringing things out in them. All you have to do is pay attention to the new data, and that is how you read their mind. Because like I said, the feminine energy wants to believe in somebody, wants to believe in something new. They know that their belief system is debilitating. So the more you expose to them, the more you'll learn about them, and the more they'll learn about themselves. You're not reading their mind. You're just giving them new data to believe in. And once you have this new data, they're literally believing in what you're believing in. So all you have to do is read your own mind, because they are now you. Masculine role player. Being indifferent will literally run the feminine off. I don't care what the situation is. You cannot be indifferent. When you're indifferent towards a feminine role player, that particular person will start thinking that either you don't care or you don't love them. You can't be indifferent. I don't care if it's about ice cream. If that person says, "What kind of ice cream you want?" and you say, "I don't care," it kills them. Make a decision for yourself. Make a decision for them. Because if you can't make a decision for yourself, they're going to start looking at you like, yo, they're just like me. Like I said earlier in the video. Make sure to not be indifferent about anything. Have a solid plan. Have a solid decision about everything, no matter what it is. Curtains, ice cream, left, right. If you don't know where you're going and she's in a car with you, or you don't know where you're going and he's in a car with you, go right. Just have a thought process of, whenever I'm lost, I'm just going to go right and figure it out from then. But when you sit at that light, when you sit at that stop sign trying to figure out left or right, you're scaring the crap out of the person that is already afraid of the unknown. They need you to be sure of where you're going. So you can't be indifferent. You cannot be worried about, if I do this, just do it. So go right virtually every time you're lost. Now, this is going to have somebody arguing with me, but it's real. The masculine is not only in charge and responsible for the growth of you and the other person, but you are also in charge and responsible for the intimacy of you and that other person. If you're the masculine role player and sex is starting to dwindle, as a masculine role player, it is your responsibility to go find new, different things for the feminine energy role player to do sexually. They'll follow you to the end of the world. So if your sex life is getting bad and is dwindling, it is on you. Go watch some videos. Go take the person to this little sex shop or something. Go do something different. Don't sit here and complain about your sex life being worse. Because if you're a masculine role player, man or woman, it is your responsibility to lead that person into the unknown. And that also means sexually. So what I want you to do is go back to the beginning of this video and write down all these tips. And I want you to make 3 columns. The first column is what you identify with. The second column is what you actually want. And the third column is what you've been doing. And I'm quite sure the third column is going to be all over the place. So all I want you to do is get a better understanding of who you actually are and what you've been attracting. If this video helped you out, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit the notification bell so you'll know the next time I actually post, and leave a comment. I would love to hear what you have to say. Y'all have a wonderful day.